on, guys? Air Flying or Landon here, bringing you guys another video here today. Today what we're going to be talking about is kind of a message for all the teams that are going into champs. Now I know a lot of teams are not even going to be watching this video. It's mostly just going to be viewers and stuff like that, but I don't care. I'm still making the video, so deal with it. So moving on. Before we make anyone else mad. Alright, now I'm going to cover a couple things right now. There's a bunch of teams that are trading and doing a bunch of different stuff before champs. Now we're actually going to see a lot of teams actually that have already made trades and such like this. So for example, I'm going to use someone as an example. It's actually two players from Prophecy, which are Legal and Fierce. Now those two players are going to be playing on Stunner just for champs though. So keep that in mind. There's going to be a lot of different changes for champs only, which to be honest, I do not like. And I don't like that in the fact that I understand when people do that when trades and stuff like that happen. Obviously with Stunner, it's a totally different situation. Two of their players are not simply old enough, and two of their players are, and they still want to play in champs. Totally understand that. That's totally different. Not hating on that in any way, shape, or form. Right, so moving on. There are going to be a lot of trades heading into champs. Now, champs is one of the most craziest, if not the craziest, actually it is the craziest event of the entire Call of Duty year, the season of AW. It will be the biggest Call of Duty event this year, okay? So keep that in mind. By year, I mean this game, this life cycle, okay? So not like the entire 2015, because champs, all right. Well, moving on. Let's just move on before I keep confusing you guys or myself. So, with that said, so there's going to be a lot of teams making trades because why? They want to win $100,000 for themselves, win $400,000 for their team. First place does get $400,000. Now, by no means is this a predictions video. I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time what to expect whenever a team wins. The reason that they want to do so well at Call of Duty Champs is because obviously the title, champion, world champion, you get a ring. It's pretty cool. Karma has 2 of them. No one else does. It's awesome. I want a ring. I'm not going to lie. I want a ring for myself, but I'm not good enough. Moving on. So with that said, a lot of these teams are making trades. A lot of these teams are just not even going to play together. I know, like Parasite, for instance, has actually left Season 1. He's not going to be playing with Prophecy at all now, but he might be teaming with someone else. He might be teaming with FaZe. We don't even know at this current point in time. Now, I'm sure once this video comes out, when people start watching it, Haggy will have already made a decision, and this video, at least for this part, really doesn't make sense anymore. But moving forward, right? Okay, so a lot of these teams are making trades that they definitely do not need to be making. Now, I feel like Champs is almost the biggest time for Roster Mania to happen. Obviously, I'm a person that covers Roster Mania. I know in a sense when stuff's going to happen. I can tell just, you know, from the way that players talk. I'm used to it. I've studied it almost like I have it almost down to a science. I'm just, you know, not fully a scientist yet. But you know, there's a lot of trades that are happening that just aren't necessary. Like, I feel like a lot of these teams, once they have their team for champs, it's like, you know what, it's great that we're playing together, but, you know, I want to team with them because I feel like I have a better shot at it, right? But a lot of these teams that are staying together, such as far as we know, like Strictly Business, Team Caliber, Optic Gaming, maybe Optic Nation, we don't know yet. A lot of these teams have such an advantage, and I have to mention this for the fact that those 4 players believe in each other. They believe that they can win champs with each other. If they didn't, then they wouldn't be sticking together. Now, CK, they just got a team house. Whether they feel that way or not, they don't want to kick anyone out of the team house. I don't know. But, you know, like players like Strictly Business, they feel so confident in each other. And Optic Gaming, they feel so confident in one another that they are willing to go to champs with their team thinking that they can win, which is awesome. That's going to be a huge chemistry boost off the bat that those 3 teams, especially, I don't know who else has had a solid, you know, we're playing with this team. But, you know, it's so nice. I can't imagine the feeling of that, to know that you are so solid with 3 other players on your team that you feel so solid that you're going to win champs. And that's good. That's awesome. That is great. And a lot of these teams just don't realize that. Like, chemistry means so much to me in this game that I feel like it's almost overlooked so much because, you know, chemistry can win you games if you don't, you know, if you don't believe in what a player is calling out, or if you just like have a second to, you know, maybe like, I don't even know if this guy can get the kill. I don't know, you know, and to be able to call out to your teammates is huge. And if you guys have that chemistry, you already know what the other player is doing. You don't even have to call out. You know that, for instance, I don't know, like Crimsix. Crimsix, I know you're gonna rush Middle Street. I know you're gonna rush on S&D on Detroit, and I'm gonna come around here and pick the guy off while we both contest at the same time. Now that was just a random instance. I have no idea anything besides that, but stuff like that, plays like that, can win you champs. S&D wins championships, and S&D is the most communication-based game type in the whole game. Now, believe it or not, that might not be true for some things because people will say like, you use communication a lot for CTF, but if no one called out in S&D, you know how crazy that would be if no one called out. You see a player right off the bat, you get the first kill. That is huge. You get the first kill. That is huge for your team. That's a 4v3, but you might not have got that kill had it not been for communication. We all know that Game 5 is always S&D, and there's a bunch of different stuff that go down all the time. And search and destroy basically makes or breaks series most of the time, to be honest with you. And that you can also maybe come back from S&D and win, and that can give you guys motivation and stuff like that. But a lot of these teams aren't going to have that chemistry and that communication-wise, because they're going to realize I'm only teaming with this team for one event. I'm not even going to play with these guys hardly after this this stuff goes down. Do I want to win? Yeah, we have 3 players besides myself that want to win. Yes, we do. But are we teaming with them? No, we're not teaming with them. I could care less what they do after this event. You know what I mean? But if you're teaming together and you win champs, I can't imagine like the feelings. Like say like a random team that forms together wins champs. You know how hyped they're going to be? Do you know how hyped that they're going to want to leave their team and join those 2 other players or those 3 other players that they're playing with? It's just huge, and things like FaZe that are going down, like Aches and Slasher are playing together, and Apathy and Sensor are playing together. That's completely split apart their team. There's just so much stuff that's going on right now in Roster Mania that I feel like could be avoided if you just find 4 solid players for an organization, make that your solid team, then go to champs. Don't just go to a random team for champs. I understand that players want to win, and if your team's just not working out, like I know from Mochilla, for instance, Justice, not going to work out for them very well as far as I know. I know Enable's playing with Aches and Slasher for champs. That leaves Moch basically by himself. I don't know what Classic's doing. And I do believe that Slack's actually not old enough for champs either. So he's basically by himself. And I understand those situations. Totally understandable. Not worried about that, like I said. Even with the stunner situation, you grab 2 players. But think of it from Prophecy standpoint. They have Haggy, maybe. I don't know what team Haggy's going to play for right now. Bose is currently on the team now. If you guys missed that, Bose is on Prophecy. Ricky and him are playing together, and I think they're waiting for like players to play with them. Clay just went to Denial. Is Clay going to play with Prophecy? Who knows? Would it be smart for him to play with the Denial? I think so. Why? Because you are on that team, as far as we know. I don't know if he's traded. There's a bunch of stuff saying that he's traded and stuff like that, and I don't know for sure. If you guys missed the trade, it was Clay and JCap from Envious, now on Denial, and Saints and Zuma, who were previously on Denial, to Envious. So, lots of crazy stuff that went down. If you guys missed it, I apologize. It's on my Twitter, so if you guys are confused, you can go to my Twitter. It'll be in the description. But just a little bit of food for thought for the whole tournament for coming up. It's not going to be like to the end of March, I don't think. I don't know the exact date. But, just something to think about. I know that a lot of teams are pressurizing and just and so worried about champs. And, to be honest, it can be so stressful to try to find a team. But if you were just able to find 3 players in your organization somehow and trade for those players, I don't know how you would do it. And I understand some organizations just can't. They just don't have the, I guess you say like the chemistry-wise that you need. But you just have to work. You just have to work at it. And I'm sure like a lot of these teams that are making roster changes are honestly hurting themselves in the end because one person can only win champs. Only one team can win champs. I'm sure second, third, and stuff like that, you get big prizes too. But a lot of these teams are making roster changes for what? For no reason. To basically ruin your chemistry, which will honestly just cause more roster mania, and it'll just spread, and you'll never play with those teammates again, and you'll have bad blood for each other, which honestly just ruins, what I like to call, roster mania and stuff like that. I love roster mania and I hate roster mania. I do cover it. It's one of my favorite things in the community because it's so exciting and you don't know what's going to happen. But it can also tear apart teams. It can tear apart people. It can tear apart friendships, and we've seen that in the past, and I hate to see it, happen. So that's just, something small. Just I'm trying to bring up. I know a lot of people aren't really covering that, and that's kind of unfortunate. But that's just my opinions for champs. That's just kind of a message for me to people in champs. I know that a lot of people could care less what I had to say, but I do cover roster mania, and I know a lot about it. I know how teams work. I've been covering it for a long time, and yeah. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. It means a lot to me if you guys would. So yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Yeah, I said yeah, really weird. But if you guys did, as well as thumbs up, if you guys could click all my links down in the description, I really appreciate it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. Thank you guys once again so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.